What it do, homies? It's your boy Dave, and I'm back today. We back on our Alffy Rev journey. This time we're checking out the spirit of Papua. Papua? I know, I'm pretty sure I'm butchering that, but let's go ahead and shut up and turn it up. Oh, there's another thing. It seems like one of Alffy Rev's signature things is to start off his videos like this, which is interesting because it immediately almost kind of sets the tone, right? How he kind of just does like these, not necessarily B-rolls and everything, but kind of just slow stuff into, you know, the actual, and this might not be actual, I'm not sure if this is CG, but kind of just painting the landscape, right? I think that's super important to kind of set the tone, setting the tone when you start diving into the location of where things are shot. Like really exploring the homeland. I don't know if I need CC's in Russian. We don't have English subtitles, so maybe we'll see. Oh. It's cultural chants. Hold on, before they jump into this, guys, you know, it's like I for some reason I've become very interested in cultural performances of drums, right? And for the most part, it's not even the drumming, if you will. If anything, it's the not even necessarily the complexity, but more about the rhythm. And what's interesting is the diversification when it comes to rhythm, when it comes to drumming, like depending on the culture and that you're listening to it, it can vary. But regardless of it, it always still kind of rings like that traditional vibe. And it's just something about it that differs for each culture that lately, you know, on my off time, I've come to find myself discovering. Like I've just been very interested in percussion. The amount of information that can come out of just percussion from different cultures is insane. And then you kind of start throwing in traditional clothing, whether it be the paint or the makeup, traditional hairstyles. And in this case, we got some cinematic stuff drums going on as well. Alffy does just a really good job at capturing culture in his music. And I feel like he's super underrated. You know what I mean? You ask any American here who Alffy is, and they'd be like, oh, I don't know. I feel like most of the people who's going to know who he is are people who, you know, reactors like myself, and people who actually go out there and start exploring music outside of their tunnel vision. You know what I mean? Another reason why I'm very thankful for this reaction channel, because I can tell you right now that if I didn't have this, there's no way I would have known who Alffy is, and I would have missed out on something that's just absolutely amazing. That's a shame. A darn shame. The panning of the audio. Is this a marriage or wedding? So in true Alffy fashion, right, I'm already hearing the synth tones that's going on in the background. So he's about to start introducing that future bass style that I've come to know that Alffy is good for. Also, I'm looking at the lyrics and everything, and it almost looks like he's asking permission to either take the daughter out, or this might be like one of them, maybe a tradition, a thing that you do right before you're about to marry, right? Because it's kind of similar to the type of stuff that I did before I married my wife. You know, went to her dad and said, asked him for permission if I could marry his daughter. There it is. Hey. See, this type of stuff right here, man, this is just very important stuff, you know, and I can't speak for everybody, but I do know that, especially when it comes to like culturals, you know, a lot of us can be like very, very ignorant of the fact, especially here in America. And honestly, you know, I don't necessarily blame anyone. It's this type of stuff that, you know, us Americans are kind of just brought up on, for the most part, since conception, you know, unless you have the personality to actually go out there and start looking beyond this country, everything that's surrounding us, you know, as you grow up in America, is just told to just think about everything that's here inside, you know, to not go out there and perspire, no matter what anybody ever tells you or whatnot. That's just how it is. You know, when we're going in history classes and everything, I can tell you what, the last thing that we're learning about is culturals. Well, I don't know what school's teaching these days, but I know when I was growing up, the last thing we were talking about was cultures. You know, maybe we might talk about some of the cultures that we see here in America for the most part, but unless you probably wouldn't get any of this type of knowledge unless you went to college and you started, I don't even know what kind of major that would be, cultural studies or something like that. But from high school, you ask any type of high schoolers, can you name me, not even that many, maybe two cultures, right, that you don't necessarily see here in America. And I have a mind to think that they probably will have a tough time, right? They probably could tell you, a whole bunch of other kind of nonsense and everything. Like I say, it doesn't apply to all. Really, I'm just speaking on what my experience has been being taught in elementary to middle school and high school. I didn't start getting any type of cultural appreciation until I went to college. And that was only because of just how many people I was just surrounded by, right? Because I had people who was coming from all corners of the earth. And it was kind of one of the most richest experiences that I ever experienced. And one of the things that I really wish that had happened is that I experienced that earlier. Okay. So the reason why I say this is because I'm seeing Alffy's doing some good work. He's bringing stuff to the masses. He's a very, very incredible producer. So, you know, he's able to put this type of stuff out. And now I'm inclined to go learn more about Papua, right? And if I'm sounding ignorant, sorry about that, but I'm inclined, right? I'm loving the percussive rhythm. I'm loving the traditional clothes and stuff that they're wearing. I need to know more. And I like to thank Alffy for that.
Mari bangkit dari masa lalu, man. Beri warna baru lagi dalam frame. Bikin lagi goal seperti games. Microphone teriakan chance. We are the king for the land. To one day, one side, one feel and one pride. Young people, one way, one spirit, one nation. Singa tak tidur seharian, penuh bangun dan hasilkan lagi banyak peluh. Jadilah juara tanpa banyak keluh. Kita semua adalah juara baru. Fight on my mind of war. Fight on my mind of war. Bila dong tanya ku siapa dari mana, kasih tahu tong ini Papua. Kalau dong kasih dong punya, Kasunjuk lagi tungkunya. Domberai saya dari lepago mepago manta anima.
Bars. Beautiful. Beautiful. I like her voice. It's rich. So this is the part, and it's crazy now that I'm starting to learn, you know. I feel like I know Alffy at this point, right? So generally at this point is where something comes alive, right? And it's always like in the case, it's almost like an important figure stone, if you will, if that's the word, that starts to come alive. I'm not sure if that statue is about to come alive. We're about to see though. Papua. That was what it was. Okay, so here it goes. Papua is the largest and easternmost province of Indonesia, and Papua comes from the word Papa Ua. Okay, okay. So given the context of the lyrics, when I was saying it would look like it was asking kind of like the dad for permission to take out the daughter, there must be something there. I don't know. Probably will take more time to research that in this reaction than I have. So I'll be relying on you guys to fill me up with some of that information. All right. That's the end of this video. If you enjoyed the content, leave a like and subscribe. Dave's out.